Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 Spoilers Update channel. Trickery, Warzone, Takedown. As a new week begins, the young and the restless spoilers for Monday, October 6th allude to some significant events in Genoa City. A character has some tricks up their sleeve. Two ex-partners are still at battle with one another, and someone plans a takedown. What can we expect from Monday's show? It's time to find out. A Takedown Plot by Victor Newman. According to Monday, October 6th spoilers for the young and the restless, Victor Newman will plan to defeat an adversary. He seems likely to keep coming up with a plan to harm Kane Ashby. The millionaire businessman has been posing a threat to Victor's empire, so the mustache won't give up until he forces Kane out of town. He is aware that Kane is pursuing both Chancellor Industries and Newman Enterprises, and he is not prepared to simply turn them over to Aristotle Dumas. However, how precisely will Victor defeat Kane? To discover out, fans will need to tune in. The War of Kyle Abbott continues. Teasers for YNR across town suggest that the conflict between Audra Charles and Kyle Abbott will reach a breaking point. Will they end up in bed together or retaliate against one another? Will they have a furious argument and end up in bed together? Both have had their significant others dump them because of their actions in Nice. It sounds like style. Read this. Bachelor and Bachelorette Party Chaos. Double trouble ahead in GC spoilers for the young and the restless. Jack Abbott is up to something. Last but not least, Monday's teasers for the young and the restless suggest that Jack Abbott will have a secret. Crossing Victor is the last thing Jack wants to do, but nobody can blame him for having a plan B in regards to the mustache. After all, Victor Newman has burned him far too many times. However, this trick Jack has up his sleeve might be regarding Jason Thompson's character Billy Abbott. So it will be interesting to watch this plot develop. Billy benefits from Jill's wisdom and Kane's willingness to compromise. According to previews for the young and the restless, Kane Ashby was out to conquer the world, or at the very least, seize control of the established companies in his chosen city. Given that a natural force has recently returned to Genoa City, Wisconsin, and that Jill Abbott views Kane as a son, adoption is a hot topic. Naturally, Jill's real son is Billy Abbott. All those soap opera years ago, when Daniel Goddard first played this role, Kane was the man who made a fraudulent claim to be Jill's child. It took time for Jill to discover Kane's true identity. That portion of his past has been exploited more lately, with a recast to Flynn changing the character or, as loyal watchers remember, returning Kane to his immoral ways. When Ethan Atkinson first arrived all those soap opera years ago, the real name of Kane is Ethan Atkinson. He received it from his parents, Genevieve Atkinson and the late Colin Atkinson. Kane made his debut as the Australian employee of Neil Winter's jazz club Indigo. Devoted supporters were thrilled when Flynn's version of Kane just acquired the Genoa City Athletic Club, where Victor and Nikki Newman recreated the jazz club. Goddard's version of Kane later wed Lily Winters, Neil's daughter, and the two of them had twins. They got divorced, got married again, and got divorced again. In 2019, Kane left to look for his father. Why did France produce Aristotle Dumas? Kane's alter persona, Aristotle Dumas, was developed after his father bought a villa in the south of France and some cash from a woman. Colin created Arabesque because he wanted Kane to rebuild his life in GC using that corporation, which competes with Newman Enterprises. Kane maintains that his father changed his ways, sought atonement, and had the twins, Lily's, and his best interests in mind. Colin had good intentions. Roger's amazing final moments, captured on film shortly before his death, were shown to viewers. Kane followed his father's advice, which served as motivation for him to carry out Colin's suggested strategy. Thus, Aristotle was a tool to achieve an unspoken goal, which makes this a fascinating plot point. Jill Abbott has two functions. Billy must reconcile with his mother. She was compelled to sell the company to Victor when he bollocksed his run for Chancellor. Kane must heed Jill's counsel and alter his direction. Kane believes Colin gave him the fortune that founded Arabesque, and she is the only one who can speak to any intentions he may have had. Jill believes that her journey to town is essential. Billy must be kept stable. Kane respects Jill and ought to take her consistently sage advice to heart. Whether Billy likes it or not, Colin is a member of Jill's family because she was his wife. Genoa City is rocked by Bachelor and Bachelorette party chaos. We may anticipate some wild Bachelor and Bachelorette party moments in the near future. According to spoilers and updates for the young and the restless, there will be double problems for Genoa City. So let's talk about all the pre-wedding drama. Danny and Cricket are getting married again in November, and there will be pre-wedding festivities soon. YNR fans are aware that Christine, Cricket, Blair, and Danny are getting ready for their November wedding, but there will be some festivities in advance. Without Bachelor and Bachelorette parties, a soap opera wedding wouldn't be complete. Fortunately, the show will include both, and viewers can anticipate some drama. Will everything go smoothly before they are married? Danny will have a guy's night as he prepares to swear his unwavering love to Cricket. As she awaits her special day, Christine will have a memorable evening with her closest friends, including longtime companions Gina Roma and Nina Webster. Fans will soon be able to partake in the celebrations since these events will be filmed in October, right before the wedding in November. Games, bonding, toasts, drinks, and chaos? Since Danny is attending his own party, there will undoubtedly be a lot of beverages, toasts, connections, games, and music, probably provided by Gina. However, as always, it appears that these Bachelor and Bachelorette parties will present their own unique set of difficulties. Both of Christine and Danny's get-togethers with their guests are likely to take an unexpected turn, so it will be interesting to watch what can ruin the evening. Given her skills at wedding-related sabotage, Phyllis Summers might easily interfere with these activities. Naturally, it's yet unclear how much these parties will deviate from reality. Arrests and police busts have occurred in the past. Fans should take into account the fact that in the past, pre-wedding pandemonium has resulted in police involvement and arrests. But it's likely that YNR will avoid any law enforcement-related problems and instead provide drama through heated arguments, scathing taunts, and perhaps even some flying drinks or desserts. Regardless, there will be plenty of exciting Bachelor and Bachelorette moments for spectators to enjoy. We'll keep you informed of all the surprises and twists that lie ahead. According to spoilers for the young and the restless, Danny and Christine can expect the worst. The Restless and the Young. Trickery, War Zone, Takedown. Act 1. The Strategic Takedown by Victor Newman. In Genoa City, a storm is building in the shadow of Newman Towers at the start of the week. Beyond his glass walls, Victor Newman, the mustache himself, sits by himself in his office, the sound of the city barely audible. There is a solitary folder with the label CA on his desk. Documents detailing Kane Ashby's ascent to prominence under the enigmatic alias Aristotle Dumas are contained here. Project Aristotle. As Victor reads through page after page of purchases, shell companies, and foreign accounts connected to Kane's business, Arabesque's jaw clenches. Kane appears to the untrained eye to be a driven entrepreneur, re-establishing his reputation. But Victor sees something more dangerous, a usurper who dares to invade the Newman Empire while posing as a visionary. Aristotle Dumas, Victor whispers to himself. What kind of idiot steals what's rightfully mine by hiding behind philosophy? A slow, icy smile spreads across his face as he leans back. He has been here numerous times previously. From Adam Newman to Jack Abbott, men have attempted to defeat him. Kane Ashby is the next to join that sad list. However, Victor has discovered that time, not physical power, is the key to success. Victor considers timing to be an art. He hits the intercom button. Get Michael Baldwin for me. Inform him that by midday, I need all the information regarding Kane's offshore accounts. There is no room for inquiry in his tone. A few moments later, Nikki Newman walks in, her eyes full of worry and her presence as steady as ever. What are you doing now, Victor? Victor smiles at her with that sly smile that combines conceit and love. Nikki, I'm defending what's mine. Cain believes he can enter my life, take advantage of my daughter's business, and leave unscathed. He's going to discover that I don't forget, and I don't forgive. Nikki lets out a sigh, her voice gentle, yet foreboding. This war is nothing new to you. Ashlyn, Jack, and even Adam. Before you know, you lose more than you gain. How many takedowns do you need to make? For a moment, the iron in Victor's soul softens as his eyes flare. The skyline, however, reflects the empire he created with his own hands as he turns back to the window. Nikki, he murmurs, I don't instigate conflicts. However, I make sure they never rise again when someone comes for my family. There's more to this takedown than just business. It's intimate. Victor's vicious strategist, who established a dynasty through deceit, loyalty, and terror, has come to life as a result of Cain's attempt to combine Arabesque with Chancellor Industries and undermine Newman's power. Act 2. The Conundrum of Cain Ashby. Cain Ashby is seen across town in the opulent lobby of the Genoa City Athletic Club, which he now owns. Cain's resurrection, and possibly his delusion, is symbolized by the jazz club that once reverberated with Neil Winter's music. This is not about greed in Cain's opinion. It has to do with legacy. It's about establishing his reputation as the cornerstone of Genoa City's elite once more and demonstrating his ability to rise above scandal and dishonesty. Colin Atkinson, his father, left behind a mysterious goal that was entwined with reinvention, retribution, and redemption. Cain recalls his father's parting remarks. Son, the honest are not rewarded by the world. It rewards the astute. Cain thus became cunning. He reconstructed his fortune and reputation from the shadows and became Aristotle Dumas, a shadowy financial genius working out of France. His creation, Arabesque, is now his weapon. Cain did not, however, undervalue the fact that Victor Newman wins. Amy Lewis, Cain's assistant, bursts in with a bundle of financial data. We have a problem, Cain. Someone has been looking into our accounts abroad. It's Newman Enterprises, I believe. Of course it is, Cain murmurs, letting out a short exhale as his accent falters. I was sniffed out by the elderly man. Cain's visage, however, hardens into resolve rather than panic. Give him time to dig. I'll be ahead of every move he makes. Now is my moment. But beyond that self-assurance comes something more, a ghost from his past, a glimmer of insecurity. Cain recalls the falsehoods he said, the life he borrowed, and the years he spent posing as Jill Abbott's son. Despite his cleverness, he continues to pursue a family that was never really his. Act 3. The voice of reason, Jill Abbott's return. Here comes Jill Abbott, a natural force who won't allow her family to ruin itself. She brings her trademark flair, witty humor, and maternal wisdom to Genoa City, all wrapped up in designer elegance. Jill has seen this narrative before. Victor manipulating, Cain plotting, and Billy plummeting. But this time, she's not going to let the past happen again. She discovers Billy Abbott sitting by himself in Chancellor Park, drinking coffee and thinking about his missed calls. Jill unexpectedly but predictably settles onto the seat across from him. Billy, she says in a scathing yet affectionate tone, you've burned more bridges than a match factory pyromaniac. This time, do you intend to redeem yourself or destroy yourself? Billy laughs aridly. Not yet made a decision. Perhaps both. Jill softens her voice as she leans forward. Son, you must let go of the grudge. You lost Chancellor of your own initiative. Victor didn't make you do it. Cain is now circling, and he will grab everything if you don't get your bearings. Billy gives a scowl. And what? Do you want Cain and I to collaborate? After all? Jill gives a headshake. Remember who you are, please. You are not Cain's adversary or Victor's pawn. You are my son. You are superior than this. With the authority of someone who has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, buried lovers, fought wars, and survived to tell the story, her words reverberate. Jill's presence serves as a grounding reminder that these are nonetheless relatable tales of survival, forgiveness, and family despite all the power struggles and boardroom skirmishes. Act 4, the war zone with Kyle and Audra. At the same time, another kind of conflict is simmering at society, one that is driven by passion, jealousy, and treachery rather than business. Audra Charles and Kyle Abbott are engaged in a risky dance that combines retaliation and seduction in equal measure. Because they are two individuals who thrive on power struggles and hazy boundaries, their relationship has always been explosive. The tension between them is now electric following the consequences from their vacation to Nice, which cost them both their partners. With a venomous tone, Audra reaches across the table. Kyle, you think you can make me look bad? Act like the victim and use me? Kyle's piercing blue eyes grin. Audra, you did that by yourself. You deserve kudos for wanting power. You've got it. Don't choke on it, please. A sly smirk curls her lips. Oh, Kyle, I never choke. However, you are unaware that you are drowning. Their chemistry is unmistakable, and their animosity is evident as they surround one another like predators. But below it all is that perilous spark, the same flame that has put them to sleep in the past and will do it again. Their conflict goes beyond ego. It has to do with suffering. Kyle is still in shock at losing Summer, and Audra is still dealing with the hurt of rejection and unmet expectations. When combined, they are poisonous and completely irresistible. As the evening draws to a close, they find themselves alone in Kyle's apartment, the quarrel intensifying, voices rising, quiet then flames. Lovers at night, enemies by day. That's the path. Act 5, the cunning of Jack Abbott. Jack Abbott is in his office at Jabot, looking over the merger predictions for the Newman Chancellor. He is aware that Victor is always up to something, so he assumes Jack is as well. Jack doesn't attack first, though, in contrast to Victor. He waits, he makes plans, and he always has a secret. Jack has made an effort in recent months to speak for Diane, Kyle, and Jabot as a whole. However, he has been reminded of one basic fact by Genoa City's perpetual chaos. Strategy endures forever, whereas calm is fleeting. In a move so shrewd that even Victor wouldn't have predicted it, Jack leans back and looks at a document called Project Counterstrike, which is his insurance policy. You don't cross Victor Newman without a safety net, he murmurs. And I just finished weaving mine. With curiosity shining in her eyes, Michelle Stafford's character Phyllis Summers knocks and enters. You appear to be a man who is going to do something rash. Jack smiles. Careless? No. Strategic? Always. Phyllis furrows her brow. Would you mind sharing? Jack gives a headshake. Let's just say that there are other chess players besides Victor. What Jack is unable to convey is that Billy and perhaps Kane may be involved in his ruse. Jack plans to ensure that his family wins if the Abbotts, Chancellors, and others go to war. Act 6, Bachelor and Bachelorette Mayhem, the party storm. In the middle of all the planning, Christine, Cricket, Blair, and Danny are renewing their vows, and Genoa City is getting ready for a party. The town is a hive of activity, but since this is Y&R, mayhem is inevitable. Christine is enjoying champagne while sitting with Nina Webster and Gina Roma on the Crimson Lights patio. Her laughing is genuine and light. She briefly resembles Cricket from the past, full of optimism, glowing, and in love. However, Danny's bachelor celebration at the GCAC is on the verge of going awry across town. Uninvited, dressed to kill, and prepared to cause trouble, Phyllis Summers has come. Her gaze is fixed on Danny as she strolls in. Do you miss me? She purrs, her voice brimming with mischievous intent. Phyllis, not tonight, moans Danny. However, Phyllis has never been deterred by not tonight. In a matter of minutes, insults are spoken, drinks are spilled, and old grudges are rekindled. Christine's phone buzzes as she is back at the Bachelorette celebration. A video of Phyllis making a scene at Danny's event is making the rounds. Her expression changes from one of excitement to one of frustration. Obviously, she murmurs, Let Phyllis ruin my pre-wedding tranquility. The scene reflects decades of history between these ladies, who have been rivals in identity as well as love. Christine seeks peace, whereas Phyllis lives in chaos. Nevertheless, their lives are inextricably linked. Both parties devolve into chaos by the end of the evening, with secrets being revealed, alcohol flying, and former lovers rekindling their passion. The glitzy elite of Genoa City once again demonstrates that decades of resentment cannot be erased by champagne. The convergence in Act 7. As though the city itself sensed the impending storm, the following morning dawns gloomy and heavy. Victor's plan is getting closer to being carried out. Kane becomes more conceited. Waiting in the shadows is Jack's trick. Unheard, Jill's knowledge reverberates. With alliances changing and betrayals blossoming, every character in Genoa City is at a crossroads. Victor initiates his takedown by signing an order at Newman Towers. First phase, he murmurs. Jack watches a financial alert beep on his screen and smirks at Jabot. Victor, it's your turn. Jill observes her kids, Billy and Kane, who are both lost and unyielding, from Chancellor Park. If only you two could see what I see, she murmurs. You underestimate how similar you are. Additionally, Kyle and Audra, two soldiers in a conflict they no longer control, awaken at society entangled in sheets and embarrassment. Act 8. Introspection and repercussions. By the end of the episode, personal lives are affected by the boardroom conflict. Kane's accounts are frozen while Victor's trap is set. With rage in his eyes, Kane charges inside Newman Towers. You believe you can defeat me, old man? Slowly, Victor gets up, his trademark smile lighting up his face. Son, I don't think so. I am aware. The air crackles with ego and rebellion as two titans collide in an electrifying clash. Kane promises retribution, but Victor is unconvinced. Jack discovers that Victor's action has unforeseen repercussions, as the collapse of Arabesque may jeopardize certain aspects of Jabot's growth agreement. Jack's trick could suddenly prove to be his downfall, and with a stern tone, Jill calls her broken family together for a private meeting at the GC. This is over. No more conflicts or secrets. I will not stand by while this family destroys itself out of pride. Naturally, however, endings are merely the beginnings in Genoa City. The silence before the next storm epilogue. The city lights flicker over the windows of the Newman Tower as night falls. Victor is standing by himself again, staring at his image. For now he has prevailed, but he knows in his heart that every takedown has repercussions. Across town, Jack pours himself a drink while considering his next course of action. He whispers, "You believe you're untouchable, Victor," but everyone stumbles at some point. Sitting in the deserted jazz club, Kane drinks whiskey and feeds his pride. It's not over, he murmurs. Not by any means. In tense quiet, Kyle and Audra lie awake, both questioning whether they've gone too far. Ever the matriarch, Jill closes her eyes and hopes for peace tomorrow, even though she knows better than to hope for it.